Hello, good day, good evening, wherever you are when you see this. Are you following cryptocurrencies as an investor or trader, or, like me, just out of interest? Well, in this video I discuss the 12 cryptocurrencies which, according to this source here, are currently the largest in terms of market cap. My name is Jimmy Lapping. I'm a psychologist and statistician with an interest in a wide variety of research topics, including the financial markets and statistical models to make sense of financial markets. And in this video, I discuss how these 12 largest cryptocurrencies performed in the past year and how their movements are correlated. None of the content of this video should be viewed as investment or trading advice, and I myself am neither invested nor trading in cryptocurrencies, but just following cryptocurrencies as one type of subjects in the financial markets. And in this video, I simply show what you can do yourself as part of your own research if you know how to use open source programs such as R, Python, JASP, and Jamovi. For this video, I express each of these cryptocurrencies in euro instead of in the US dollar, because first of all, I am based in the Eurozone and tend to think in euros rather than in US dollar terms. And in addition, two of the cryptocurrencies on this list are pegged or tied to the US dollar and therefore are almost the same in trajectory as the US dollar versus the euro. To start, here we have the 1 year chart of Bitcoin all the way until the end of Sunday, 28th of January. So the end of last trading week, starting the 29th of January of last year, so hence 365 trading days. Bitcoin is still the largest cryptocurrency out there in terms of market cap, and you see that it has had a nice run up in the second half of this time window. And here you see the chart of Ethereum, a second largest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap, which has a trajectory quite similar to that of Bitcoin. This is, by the way, also something you can find for previous years, because although Bitcoin and Ethereum work differently in terms of their trajectory, they tend to be quite similar. Different is this one, Tether or USDT, which is one of the two so-called stable coins that are tied or pegged to the US dollar and therefore have a trajectory that is almost the same as the trajectory for the US dollar versus the euro. Next, here we have Binance, which shows a pattern that is clearly different from what we saw for Bitcoin and Ethereum, although the run-up in the second half of this time window is also visible here. And this trajectory is also different from what we just saw for USDT. Then Solana, fifth largest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap. And people who bought this one a year ago and held it until a few days ago will have seen some very nice gains. Here yet another type of trajectory than what we've seen so far for XRP, formerly also known as Ripple. Net speaking up by a bit, albeit with a rather volatile trajectory in this 1 year time window. Then here USDC or USD coin, which is the second stable coin pegged to the US dollar in this list of 12 cryptocurrencies. And the reason why this chart looks a little bit awkward is that there is a one red dot here clearly below the rest of the chart, indicating that on 1 day early in this time window, the daily low was unusually low. But apart from this outlier downward, the pattern is about the same as that for USDT. Because both stablecoins, as I expressed earlier, are pegged or tied to the US dollar and therefore follow almost the same pattern as the US dollar versus the euro. Then here, Cardano, which has a trajectory that is somewhat somewhere in between what we saw for Bitcoin and Ethereum on the one hand, and Binance, on the other hand, with in this case some decline in the first half and early second half of the trajectory, as we also saw for Binance, but less strong. And then a nice run up, as we saw for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance, and also for Solana, by the way. Another one with which looked quite similar to Cardano is Avalanche, the ninth biggest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap. Then here Dogecoin, which seems to have had its best time and on the year is slightly down instead of up. Penultimate, Polkadot, similar to Cardano and Avalanche, and here is one which has been going up for most of the year. This is Tron or TRX. Okay, so how do these 12 cryptocurrencies correlate? So here you see two networks in which I've used the data the day-to-day change in percentage to see which cryptocurrencies tend to move together. The nodes represent the cryptocurrencies. Blue lines indicate positive correlations. Red lines indicate negative correlations, and thicker lines indicate stronger correlations than thinner lines. The network on the left uses actual correlations, whereas on the right we use a procedure which, well, without going into too much technical detail, can help us see which are the most important connections in this network. To start, we see that USDT and USDC are strongly correlated, which is logical because both are tied to US dollar, and therefore day-to-day changes of these cryptocurrencies versus the euro are almost the same as day-to-day changes of the US dollar versus the euro. The correlations between these two stable coins on the one hand and the other 10 cryptocurrencies are relatively weak, indicating more or less independent movements. Next, we see that Bitcoin and Ethereum are also clearly correlated, indicating that day-to-day changes in Bitcoin in one direction tend to go hand in hand with day-to-day changes in Ethereum in the same direction. In short, Bitcoin performing well, Ethereum performing well too. Bitcoin performing badly, Ethereum performing badly too. That's the general trend. Doesn't mean that this happens every day, but on this 1 year time window, most of the cases we see movements in the same direction. Then, a final chart that I'm going to show with you in this video compares the 12 cryptocurrencies in terms of their median day-to-day change on the horizontal axis and their median intraday dispersion as expressed through the percentage that the daily high is higher than the daily low, and hence higher values indicating bigger differences between the daily high and daily low. First of all, we see that one cluster is logically formed by the US dollar tied stablecoins, which have the lowest dispersion of all, and with a median day-to-day change just above zero, so slightly positive. The trajectory for these two stablecoins has been kind of sideways in this year, as we saw in the charts. Note that the median day-to-day change is not some kind of indicator of how much more or less value the cryptocurrency has versus the euro now relative to a year ago. It is simply all 365 day-to-day changes ranked from low to high and then taken the middle value of that ranked series. And next, another cluster is that of the largest two cryptocurrencies in terms of market cap, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are close to the two dashed lines which indicate the medians on both variables for this set of 12 cryptocurrencies. Then on top, we find the cryptocurrency with the strongest intraday movement is expressed by the percentage of difference between the daily high and daily low, and this is Solana for the year that just ended. And finally, Tron or TRX, which is that outlier on the right, which shows the clearest tendency of upward movement because as we saw in the chart, it went up fairly consistently in this 1 year time window, at least more than was the case for any of the other cryptocurrencies. So with the combination of 1 year trajectory charts, the correlation networks, and finally this chart here comparing cryptocurrencies in terms of median day-to-day change and median intraday dispersion, well, we can get somewhat of an idea of how similar or different any pair of cryptocurrencies has been in this 1 year time window. For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum have often been considered very different cryptocurrencies, yet in terms of behavior, they are pretty similar. And while Bitcoin and Ethereum show more intraday dispersion than the two stablecoins, their dispersion is less than 6 of the other cryptocurrencies in this analysis, with Solana clearly standing out to the upside on that dimension. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you find this useful, and if you have any ideas or suggestions for future videos, you can leave a comment below this video or just drop an email using the email address that I shared below this video. Thank you for listening, have a good day, and see you soon.